Hey guys, I think it's really important to look at the facts in crypto right now, not the emotions that we may or may not have. Because if you are going to listen to your emotions, then you're going to sell the bottom, right? Let's look at the facts. What's going on? And in this video, I want to give an probably an infinite amount of reasons why, in particular, the altcoin market looks bullish, right? I can also make it about Bitcoin, but one that should not really be a topic because I think we all know that Bitcoin looks bullish, right? Bitcoin is just looking bullish. But mostly because, most of the FUD, the fear, the doubt, the uncertainty, that's all FUD, by the way, is coming from the altcoin market. And let me start with, I get that. Okay, I totally get that, right? There are a lot of people, they came in crypto maybe a little later. They bought quite high. Certain, especially low cap altcoins, they got completely wrecked, right? So I get that the sentiment isn't great. But let's also look at the opportunity. So welcome to the Fomo Factory. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Turn the bell notification on. Soon we got a pretty cool crypto music video dropping. I think this will fit perfectly with the time of the market that we are in right now. And it's a pretty cool song actually. So yeah, let's wait for that. By the way, altcoins against Ethereum, they are making new cycle highs. Insane. You might be like, whoa, are altcoins doing well? No, Ethereum is not doing well, right? So that's maybe a good reason to look at Ethereum right now, as this is a great opportunity right here. But hey, who knows how more wrecked it could get in the meantime, right? So with everything that I'm going to say today, I do want to give the disclaimer. Yes, things can go lower. Of course, they can go lower, right? I'm not trying to tell or guess or predict, what's going to happen tomorrow or next week. But to be really honest, I don't care about that. I am investing, not necessarily trading, right? And with trading, I mean day to day or hour to hour, whatever. I buy in a period of months, and later I'm a DCA out in a period of months, right? So whatever happens next week, if that's something that's important for you, then this video is maybe not for you. I'm looking at the slightly longer term, okay? So I want to give multiple reasons why I see right now that the altcoin market is bullish. And the fun part is I don't prepare these kind of things, right? I didn't write shit down. I could have done that, but it should not be that hard to find it. So I might forget about a couple of things. So let me know in the comments. But also, please, guys, really do me a favor. I see that some people some are not bullish right now. And totally fine. But can you let me know why, right? That would make a big difference compared to what some people doing. They sometimes say, it's going down, and argument still waiting for that, right? And if you are bullish, and if I'm missing a reason in this video, also let me know, right? Let me know. So the first thing, why I think that altcoins are looking bullish. And with bullish, I mean the following, right? Can they again go down in the meantime? Yes. But will they eventually have a huge leg up, providing multiple X's? Easy. Yes. Right? It sounds unrealistic, like, you're never going to get a couple X's out of crypto right now. And reality is, guys, in my opinion, it's not that I know it all, but from the simplistic point of view that I try to maintain on this, is that the prices are now lower, right? There is a certain top wherever it is. There's a certain bottom wherever it is. We are now lower than what we were months ago. So we are now closer to that bottom and further from that top. So the X's that we can potentially make here are more than what they were over here. It's that simple, in my opinion, right? So reason number one why altcoins are looking bullish, in no particular order: heavily oversold on the higher time frames. right? So if you look at momentum indicators like the stochastic RSI, which is not something you necessarily should trade off, but which is something that you can definitely use to add to the rest of your indicators, you can see that it is oversold. And it is really oversold. And it has been oversold for quite a while already, right? As soon as you get oversold, it doesn't mean that it's right away a moment to buy, right? It's not that easy, unfortunately. Good example, for example, is right here. Here we turned oversold, and that was here, right? So you might have been like, oh, it's a great buy. In the long term, yeah, you eventually will go up. But in the short term, we went down quite a lot still, right? So keep in mind that doesn't mean that there's a bottom, okay? But we do know buying when things are oversold is, of course, better than buying things when they are overbought. So that's reason number one. And I apply this on the others chart. You can apply this on, individual altcoins. If you look at, I haven't seen this right, but this Trader Joe, I bet that this looks somewhat similar. If you, there's the MACD, sorry for that. Stochastic RSI, here we go, right? If you look at the stochastic RSI for Trader Joe, for example, heavily oversold, AVAX, Chainlink, Chain GPT, Bread, Render, like I think all of them in this list, basically, right? And that's on the weekly time frame, right? So that means it takes a long time to play out. Again, if it doesn't all happen next week, yeah, because I'm not saying that, right? This could take months to play out, but it also means that the gains are way higher percentage wise, right? It could take months, definitely, but I'm also not talking about two or 10% gains, right? I'm talking about moves like this right here that we have seen right here. For example, the last one on this particular coin, Render, it did a 240%. And that was one of the smaller moves that it had when it came out of this oversold territory, because the time before that, it had a gain of 900%, right? Again, you have to realize we are sitting at exactly that level again right now, okay? Reason number two why I am very bullish on altcoins, and this goes from charts to narratives to anything, right? And that's narrative. Again, that's the sentiment sucks, right? Usually when a market goes down, people, they're not happy, right? They feel like, it's going down, it sucks, fuck this market. This time it's kind of really bad. And what do I mean by that? Well, one, first off, if you look at how many people there are in crypto, there's nobody, right? And that's where you want to buy and you want to sell when there are a lot of people that you can dump on, right? This already the indicator that should like turn everybody bullish, I think. Two, the people that are here are not even negative. They're frustrated as fuck, right? I literally have people cursing at me in the comment section, right? Like, then I feel like, man, and like, I'm not perfect, but I for far don't have a bad track record, I think. So I can imagine that people are really, really, really negative right now if they just curse on everybody that they see on the internet and maybe even in real life. I don't know how that works. So the sentiment is terrible, right? Now, that's a huge buying indicator, right? If the sentiment is bad, right? Like listen to Warren Buffett, like buy the fear, sell the greed. Well, this is beyond fear. People are they gave up, right? They admitted defeat while they haven't been defeated, and that's the thing. And the ones that keep on fighting, they're gonna win then, right? So that's the second. Like the sentiment is terrible, which has always been the maybe the best buying indicator ever. Okay. 3, why I am so bullish on altcoins right now is the following. If you look at Prime, whatever, right? Now, let's take a better example. Let's take CeDeFi, right? What do you see on this chart? CeDeFi, let me get this out of the way. CeDeFi has been going down, right? And by the way, you could argue, well, it made a lower low, and I think it didn't do that bad. This top right here came relative close to this top, while this top happened during full alt season, and this happened during full Bitcoin season, QT season, right? So, if anything, another reason, a lot of coins they showed us like, hey, we do not even need alt season, and we can make 10x's. Well, that kind of goes hand in hand with the other reason that QT has been slowed down. QT is likely to stop in the coming 3 months. Very likely it's going to stop. So far, it's not a guarantee for this time, but so far in full history, there has always been an alt season when there was no QT. QT is going to stop. AKA, it seems very weird to me that in way better macro circumstances, that it looks weird that something like this is not achievable in a market where the circumstances are way better, if you know what I mean. Next reason why I'm pretty bullish, and it's not that I want to convince you. I just want to try to give the arguments, right? A lot of people, they say it's going down, it's going up, it's going, I don't know. I feel like it's going up, but I want to make sure that I give you enough reasoning why I think that I don't just say it because I want so, or whatever the reason may be for me, right? I see reasons flashing all around me. The next reason, actually, is there's not a lot of liquidity right now. If you again pick a chart, right? But if you look at CeDeFi again, for example, it's sitting at 47 cents right now. Well, here it showed, if you go back right to December, here it showed that when it was sitting at 230, right? When there was like 6 times as much liquidity in this project, it had no problem pumping 80% in a single week, right? When there was already a lot of liquidity, it said like, fuck that, we just pump another 80%, right? So the market shows like, hey, even if there is way more liquidity than there is right now, no problem, pump the shit out of it. Now, the liquidity is so much lower, right? Do you have any idea how easy it is to pump like this right now, right? And that's all matter of market conditions, macro. But you must be crazy to think that this is going to go on forever, right? It isn't. That's not how markets work. They go down, they go up. In the moment that we go down, it feels like we will go down forever. But in reality, we know that that's not true, right? So what a time to position right here, right? Can it go lower? Again, yes. I don't want to give the disclaimer the whole video. I think that's clear. But apart from that, what a time to position, right? If it shows like, hey, with this liquidity, we can pump like this, then here, man, if anything, this opportunity could be done forever within a day, right? The next reason, again, why I am pretty bullish on the altcoin market is that Ethereum has been doing very, very bad. And for me, it's always the chicken and the egg story, right? Is alt season, if you want to call it that, happening because Ethereum goes up? Or does Ethereum go up when it's alt season? Because at the end of the day, Ethereum is also an altcoin, I don't know, right? But all in all, Ethereum is really, really, really low right now. Really low, right? Against the dollar, against Bitcoin, against other altcoins, against everything. That's great as an entry, right? For ETH, for alts, whatever. Unless you, for some reason, think that Ethereum is dead. But let's assume that, you don't think that. Because, yeah, I don't think that's likely, right? So Ethereum is looking like, wow, beautiful. Compared with that, one of the most, I don't want to say bearish, but skeptical people out there with an insane track record is Benjamin Cohen. And he said, Ethereum needs to go home, and Ethereum is home. So even the target of somebody who's very skeptical, and you can almost call Bitcoin maxi, is hit right now. So that's pretty interesting if you ask me. Another reason is the Bitcoin dominance, right? And I don't like to look at the Bitcoin dominance like most people look at it right here. Oh, let me remove that ETH band. I don't like to look at it at like this, because I don't think that this chart is super realistic, as this includes a lot of stable coins as well. And this chart gives us no clue whatsoever how altcoins are doing against Bitcoin. We know how altcoins and stables are doing against Bitcoin, right? And as you know, stables are not dominating necessarily more, really, right? They also have somewhat of an increasing market cap, but it's a different way than how alts are really doing. Well, then we can take a look at the stable, at the Bitcoin dominance without stable coins, right? So this is purely how are altcoins doing against Bitcoin, basically. And you can see that Bitcoin has been outperforming the shit out of it. Now, if you were a Bitcoin maxi, or if you saw this coming, if you were bearish on alts or bullish on Bitcoin a year or years ago, then what a fantastic call, right? Like, this thing went up. Congrats. What a fucking track record you should have then. The problem is, here we had a lot of people, a lot of YouTubers, a lot of everybody saying alt season coming, alt season coming. And in the meantime, the Bitcoin dominance went up and altcoins got completely wrecked against Bitcoin, right? Because we had an alt season right here. And retail was used to altcoins doing well. So whenever it turned out to be Bitcoin season, people here thought like, nah, altcoins are going up again, right? The Bitcoin dominance is going down. And it did for a little while. And they pat themselves on the shoulder, not knowing that that was just the starting of the whole Bitcoin party. Well, it went up more and more and more and more and more. And here, literally here, is where people, community members of ours, community members of other people, YouTubers, whatever, come to the realization that Bitcoin is the outperformer. And here people now say, should be in Bitcoin. Here you should be in Bitcoin. Here you should be in alts, right? Can this go a little higher? Sure, of course. But overall, right, if you look at this also as a DCA approach, buy BTC, write it up, sell BTC, right? Buy BTC with alts, whatever. Write it up, sell BTC for alts, alt season, and then put it back into Bitcoin, right? That's how you do it. Unfortunately, this is also showing the human nature. And this is showing like people, they get wrecked with altcoins. Here they finally capitulate and be in Bitcoin. And then there's an altcoin season and they miss out on that. I said months ago, like, guys, this is literally what's going to happen to people. And it is happening to people. Please don't. I know that you may feel like, but please do yourself a favor, okay? It's not that I am certain that this is going to happen for the rest of this move, but I'm pretty sure that it will be something like that. Yeah. Apart from that, also, if you look at the Bitcoin dominance on the stochastic RSI on the monthly, right? So majorly time frame, it is sitting really, really, really overbought right now. It's sitting on the weekly, extremely overbought, actually, extremely overbought. And I've marked off these green lines, right? And every time it went there, it got followed by a decent dump, right? Here it went up first a little bit more, then it went down with 12%. Well, that was one of the smallest moves, right? Here it went down with a similar move. Here it went down with a similar move. Here it went down into a pretty good altcoin, moment. I don't want to call it a season, but more of a moment, right? Here it went down. Here it went down really hard. And here, of course, was the latest alt season that we had. Yeah, and we are now at these levels. Again, it can go up a little more before we see that move, but we're gonna see that move, right? And I think that a lot of people they're too late. They step on the Bitcoin train right now, and they will miss that. Another reason why I am pretty bullish on altcoins is the others dominance. So others is everything in the top 125, excluding the top 10. So this is the most degen average of altcoins that you can get on TradingView, basically. And this shows, again, oversold hard, right? But also we have a perfect double, triple bottom, actually. And the confirmation is also here because we just went there again and it's holding it, right? It's holding it. And that's beautiful. You can say, oh, it made a low, whatever, right? Like in a wick, anything could happen. We are holding this level so far, right? And like I'm calling so many different things right now. Will 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever be invalid maybe in a couple days, weeks? Sure, right? It's more of the combination of all of these things together that make me bullish. I'm not looking at one chart and be like, oh, like, but if you put it all together and they all come to the same conclusion, you must be a blind fucking idiot to not, I want to stay friendly. So that's another reason why I'm pretty bullish on alts. Another reason, but this is more specifically about the lower cap altcoins, which is coming, is this is the low cap altcoin market against the high cap altcoin market, to put it simply like that. And that got beat down, right? That got really beat down. Now, we are approaching this level where it found support in, well, the bear market lows, basically, before it went into something crazy, right? Yeah, we are approaching that. And this level holds since, 2017, 18. This has been a big level, basically. Again, not a guarantee that it will hold, but hey, for fuck yeah, a better moment to buy here than here, right? So also, this is looking pretty fantastic, if you ask me. Now, there are a couple more things, actually. Now, I had to write some down because brain frog. One is this. This chart is showing the Bitcoin dominance minus the stablecoin dominance divided by the stablecoin dominance. So this is basically showing the current supply of stablecoins or the current dominance of stablecoins, and if that's flowing into the market or out of the market. And basically, if the chart goes up, then it's flowing into the market, and down is out of the market. Now, what's really interesting, if you ask me, is that this is now sitting at the same level as where it was in January 2023, right? January 2023. If we look at the altcoin market where it was in January 2023, that was actually the bear market low, right? So, yeah. What else do you want me to say, man? Right? This is like, man, you have to be a little optimistic about this stuff right here, right now, right? The next thing is actually very simple, the seasonality. It's also something that we shouldn't forget. I know that a lot of people, they only focus on Trump right now. Trump this, tariffs that, nothing else matters. Well, it's not really that true. Of course, I'm not saying that the tariffs and Trump and etc. doesn't matter, right? That's definitely a big reason that stuff is happening, why it's happening right now. But why is it happening now, right? Why now? I mean, isn't this a coincidence, right? That if you look at 2017, when altcoins showed multiple times before, right? Also, in a bull market where we had the top altcoins going down 98%, like literally 10 times as bad as that we are seeing right now. But when did this happen? This drop was happening until March 2017. We are now April 2025. Remember 4-year cycle? This is exactly 8 years ago, right? And in April, we really started to pump. And then you should not be like, whoa, it's April and that was March, so everything is fucking different. Like, if you have 48 months in a cycle and something is 1 month off, I would not call it different right away necessarily, right? But it's such a coincidence, right? That exactly at this stage of the market, altcoins are doing bad and altcoins are bleeding against Bitcoin. That's seasonal. That's really seasonal. This cycle looks a lot like 2017 so far. So that gives me a lot of hope. And again, apart from that as well, another argument, and this should be absolutely one of my favorites actually, because the biggest reason why people are bearish right now is not necessarily because they are down a bit or whatever. It's because they are down on certain coins with 80%. And that, if you were in the assumption that it is a bull market and you are down 80%, then it doesn't feel like a bull market. Kind of depends on what you define as a bull market, actually. Because again, if we look back at 2017, you can see, and again, this is one example, but this whole list right here contains coins back then out of the top 20, right? They got wrecked with 90+%, right? Yeah. If you want to do that in this cycle, you really had to get out of the top 500 or lower, right? If you stuck to the top 20, you wouldn't be wrecked that hard. So 2017 was way worse. This is not even comparable, right? But yet, right, like again, this coin, it went down 98%. 98! That's nothing anymore, right? If CeDeFi, right, would have gone down 98%, for perspective matters, right? 98%? I can't even scroll that far. 98 point something. Then it will be sitting at 8 cents. That's another 5 times lower as where it is right now. Right? That's a big ass difference, right? But that's the biggest reason why people say it's different, because we are down that much. Then I would say, not really, right? Because here it was down even further. But we still went up hard. 15,000% is 1500x, right? And this all happened, this upwards move, this downwards move, where it was over, and this bull market, all happened during Bitcoin being in a bull market, right? All happened during a bull market. So you can say, it's bull markets for altcoins, bear markets for altcoins, bull markets for altcoins, bear market, bull market. I just I don't know if there is a right answer, and if yes, what is? I define a bull market as where Bitcoin bottoms and goes to the top. Anything in between is a bull market. Whatever flip-flops it makes in between, whatever altcoins do in between, from A to Z is the bull market, right? And yeah, whatever that altcoins crash and moon and whatever in the meantime, man, if you made 2 trades out of this, you would have retired your entire bloodline, and including your neighbors and their neighbors, and right, like you put $1,000 in right here, like this, if you time everything correctly. But I just want to show you the theoretically opportunity that you can get from this, right? You put $1,000 in right here, $25,000. You write it out, you just wait. You put another $25,000 in, you make 1,500% on that. I don't even know that math, but you're done, right? Like, and that's just if you make 2 trades, right? On a random coin, right? And again, in reality, you will never do it like that. But I'm trying to say that even during a period where people really feel like it's over, you could have been done for the rest of your life if you did not be emotional about it, right? So yeah, that's not really a problem to me. Now, again, of course, we have Trump doing Trumpy things, and you can say that's the end. You can also say like, hey, months ago it was clear like the Fed needs to do something, but what can they do, right? If the market goes up, right? But the S&P was mooning, right? So the Fed, they don't have to step in, right? But if the Fed doesn't step in, then they won't stop QT. Then there won't be money printing. So if there's no stop of QT and no money printing, then altcoins won't do fine, right? So this period right here was for altcoins actually more like shit. Like, what? Where's the narrative? What's the reason? Now it's breaking, right? Yeah. Some people say Trump is fucking it all up. Some people say that Trump is doing it on purpose so they can finally fix it. And I think that's, if that's the answer, I don't know, but that's at least what needed to happen. And I think that Trump knows more about that than we do. So now it is going down. And of course, in the short term, that sucks for the crypto market as well, right? Like I must say, like, pretty positive on how the crypto market responds so far, actually. But now, if this is enough or not, I don't know. But now the Fed at least has somewhat of a reason to step in, to stop QT, to begin money printing, right? AKA to give altcoins a boost, to make it more attractive for risk assets. So we have a reason now, right? And although it sucks in the short term, hey, for the long term, this is a big win. This is what we needed. Also, yeah, and that's kind of what I said right earlier as well. But if you look at this alt-season chart, right? Look, this line is broken. Well, diagonal line is broken. It's all over. Never gonna happen. Like, I think it's more than that, right? But if you look at if you overlay the Fed balance sheet, right? So let me be very clear. Red line up, QE, red line down, QT, red line horizontal, nothing, right? So the Fed was reducing their balance sheet, and you guess what? Alt season right away, nah. Here, the Fed was reducing their balance sheet, alt season right away, also down, right? Now we know that halfway this year, this is not going down anymore, but sideways, right? And if QT maybe ever comes, because hey, if shit breaks enough and they have to cut enough rates, they maybe can start QE. But in my opinion, look, this was our biggest alt season. Did we have QE? No, right? So that's pretty cool. And it lines up pretty well, right? I mean, here QT stopped, and this was immediately where altcoins kind of bottomed, right? So yeah, that's pretty bullish if you ask me. Now, again, there are so many more charts, and I can show a lot of charts as well that show that we can go down a little bit more in the meantime. If you want me, let me know in the comments. I can make a video about that. There are definitely reasons why we can go down in the meantime. I'm not saying that we can't. I'm never saying the bottom is in. I'm not that idiot. I know that makes for good clickbait. But in reality, I will be an idiot if I tell you, because I have no clue when the bottom is in, right? All I do know is that there is, from this point, so insanely more upside than downside that I feel like, who gives a fuck if you buy today and you are down with 20% next week, if you could be up with 500-600% in the next 3 months, right? Something like that. Don't stick to that timeline, but then who cares, right? Don't time that bottom. You won't be able to do so, man. And if you do, then it's luck. It's nothing skill related anyway. So yeah, I mean, we can go down in the meantime for sure. Definitely. But try to not care about that too much. Oh, another reason why I'm really bullish on the altcoin market is this chart, by the way. This is the Bitcoin dominance, Ethereum dominance, and stable dominance. So if you take the whole market, but you take that away, then what does it leave you? Altcoins, right? Every altcoin. The dominance of everything but altcoins is sitting really high. And if you have to know one thing about financial markets that I like, it's pretty simple actually how they move. They have 4 phases, right? They have a accumulation phase where you accumulate. They have an uptrend, that's where you ride it up and you make money. You have a distribution phase where you have a chance to sell, and then you have a downtrend, and that's where you completely do nothing, and then it starts over, right? And this is nothing different, but this is the other way around, basically, right? Because this chart going down is extremely bullish for altcoins. How does this chart look to you? To me, this doesn't look like a chart that's going up forever, right? To me, this looks like exactly the market cycle movement, right? Where if it was more history, accumulation, uptrend, distribution, downtrend, accumulation, uptrend, distribution. Guess what comes next, right? And hey, I mean, here, distribution, we shot up. Yeah, fuck that. Like, okay, yeah, whatever. Like, sure. But you see how it moves, right? Try to look at the bigger picture, because this bigger picture is not telling me anything bearish about altcoins at all. At all. Matter of fact, everything on the higher time frame, mid-high, mid-long time frame is showing like, whoa, this opportunity right here is nuts. It's really nuts, right? And I'm not trying to convince myself. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm not trying to do this for the view so I can earn $2 per month more with this. Because I got some comments like, yeah, but you get paid on YouTube. Bro, this is my full-time job and YouTube pays me $200 per month. Like, if anything, I'm not doing well, right? So that's not the reason why I'm doing this. I want to make sure that there is such an obvious opportunity. There's $1 million laying on the fucking floor right in front of you. And I'm literally telling you, like, hey, look down. That's all I'm doing, right? Sounds like financial advice. It isn't, right? So can't sue me. But that's all I'm doing. Right? Like, there's so many people gonna miss out. Don't let it happen to you. You watch this. What a waste that would be. The people that don't look at this, yeah, I can't help, right? And what's in it for me? Hopefully in a couple months or a year, you can come back and be like, bro, thanks, man. I will follow you. That's good for my reputation. It makes my job more fun to do. Love it, right? Love it. That's what's in it for me, right? And that way, maybe I can get some more views and earn a little bit more with YouTube or whatever, right? Like, yeah. But all in all, in my opinion, this is the most brain dead opportunity that we are in right now. And yeah, again, there are a lot of charts that I can show, but this has been long enough. I hope this was helpful. And again, if you have a couple good reasons to believe why it's all going down, let me know, right? It's all a matter of opinions. It's not necessarily that I am telling the facts and that you are telling the facts. I'm seeing what I'm seeing. For me, it's obvious. For you, it could be different. But let's discuss it like mature people do, right? And maybe we can learn from each other. That would be awesome, right? So if anything, there's a link to our free Telegram, free Telegram, right? Down below. Step into the group. Let's discuss it, man. I'm open to convos. I'm there as well. And if you want to get some extra alpha, my portfolio, one-on-one calls, some really cool other stuff, join the Alpha Factory in the WAP down below as well. It's a few bucks per month. I know that's at this stage of the market maybe hard for people, but I do think that it's worth it, actually. So thanks for watching, guys, man. Really appreciate you. And if you want to like the video, subscribe to the channel. See you soon.